Previously in part 1 and 2 of the Blue Ty-amond adventure. Everybody have fun tonight. Everybody Wang Chung Thai night. Luey, Flewis, what are you doing here? Wait, the Blue Diamond Desert? Where thousands of ships, planes, and people have vanished for centuries? That's Blue Diamond Crater. It's a hole that goes thousands of feet down into the depths of the North Atlantic Ocean. And the guy who made this was 24-year-old Captain Daniel Paradosington. Daniel made the map so he could one day go and find his identical twin brother's ship, Ballena Rica. His brother was Captain Devon Paradosington. As for the TY-ruly, it is a three-headed, mobile, wooden mountain range. The Invisibubble Air Subble. Come on, Tiny 80s guy, hurry up! Islands named after 80s music. Yeah, and that's because the island sank. Wow, it's gorgeous. It's one of the most beautiful coral reefs I've ever seen in my life. Ooh, a clownfish. Wow, what a pretty seahorse. The giant wrasse. Where did all the fish go? It's an extremely rare colossal orange cord eel. A colossal orange cord eel? Yes! Doc Brown built this sub to look similar to a colossal orange cord eel. But that male eel out there is about 40 foot long. At 37 foot, he thinks that this sub is a female eel. Now he wants to destroy the sub and eat both of us. There's only one thing we can do. The giant wrasse. I mean, he scared off the colossal orange cord eel. You have a great heart, Tidy. The colossal orange cord eel will be fine. But I really gotta go thank that humphead wrasse. 24.5 foot long. Wow, that is a huge humphead wrasse. Well, if you want to go thank him so badly, I will go take you scuba diving since you've never been. Well, I'm actually kind of afraid. I'm going to give 2 segments and then I may just go scuba diving. Sorry we didn't have any special segments in the last episode because I wanted to focus on the undersea adventure. We're both still really excited about the possibility of finding the lost pirate ship of Ballena Rica, especially Luey Flewis. And yes, I will be revealing the extra information I found on the pirate captains and the TY-ruly. But for right now, the majority wants to see the segments are back! 1990 glass of pink lemonade with ice in it from Max's Mexican Eatery in Hickory, North Carolina. Ty-Day's Childhood Memory! Ty-Day's Childhood Memory. DuckTales is returning to TV as a new series. Yay! And it will be premiering on Disney XD next year. And let's take a look at this. This is not Carl Barks' artwork. who is the originator of Uncle Scrooge. This is his successor, Don Rosa. And check out this artwork. You can see it has more of a simple style, but still detailed. And then the Carl Barks artwork I showed you came from his 1956 classic, The Second Richest Duck. Scrooge, Launchpad, McQuack, Gyro Gearloose, and Doofus Drake all journey into the depths of the Marinara Trench. Yes, it's a parody of Mariana's Trench. Now, I'm going to go to Videophone, where Super Mario is waiting in my house with two greatly special announcements. Ty-in 80s, you follow him on there. Every Monday is Super Mario Monday, and I will be running the Twitter all day, and you'll hear all kinds of facts and fun from me, Mario. And this is the sign for an upcoming brand new segment of Ty-the-80s guys, 80s and 90s video world, called Tree Fall Time. It is dedicated to small independent video game making company Treefall Studios, led by young Eli Brewer. Ty-the-80s guys brand new Treefall Studios shirt. And that is Nomi the Nomad from their upcoming 2D platformer, The Gem Collector. Woohoo! Oh no, the video phone just died. And half the lights just went out. Luey, what is going on? Tidy! We're in big trouble! But something is moving us really fast! I'm trying to control it, but I can't! The steering wheel won't move! I have no idea where we're going, and I don't know what to do! But it gets much worse! So stop all these jokes right now. I promise I'm not joking. This is real. Please, just look out the window. Oh no. Luey, we're going to hit that huge wall of coral. I know, Tidy, I know. And this sub is not built to withstand that. We're gonna die. Oh, no! Now the story continues. Whoa, the lights are back on. Whoa! Hey, Luey, we're okay. We didn't crash. What? You've got to turn around and see this. Look out that window. Huh? We're okay? Yeah, we're okay. But look out that window. How? We were going to crash to the coral. I don't know. But look out that window. Okay. Wow! We're finally here! Is that what I think it is, Luey? Yes, the Blue Diamond Desert. But where's all the sunken ships? Where's all the treasure we could find in here? Ah, this is such a rip-off. It makes me so mad. Luey, I just checked all the equipment and everything is up and running again. So we are going to be okay. Look on the bright side. We didn't crash into the coral and everything is back up and running. And let's not forget, we have this map here to help us find the treasure. You know, the pirate treasure ship of La Ballena Rica? There may not be any sunken ships here, but let's not forget that here in the center of the Blue Diamond Desert is Blue Diamond Crater. And that is where we have to go to find La Ballena Rica. So stop with all the negativity and come on out here and talk with me. You're right, Tidy. I was being a big baby. We didn't crash, and now we're finally here in the Blue Diamond Desert. But the thing is, we're 2,000 miles north of the Bermuda Triangle, which may explain the crazy stuff that's going on. You know, the electricity going out, and that strange unknown force that pulled us here. I mean, we were just flying, and the controls were locked up. I couldn't put on the brakes. I couldn't control the steering wheel. I couldn't do anything. Well, Luey, I definitely believe in strange forces. I have been fascinated with the Bermuda Triangle ever since I was a little kid. Yeah, but the point is, we are safe. And we are going to find La Ballena Rica! Yay! La Ballena Rica! La Ballena Rica! La Ballena Rica! Oh, you are one crazy flying harmonica fish. Yep, and I'm extremely ADHD. It's gonna be nothing but smooth sailing from now on. Smooth sailing, huh? Oh, well, there are a lot of storms here in the Blue Diamond Desert. So I've heard from the history books. I'm not a big fan of thunderstorms, especially in a place like this where lots of ships and planes disappear. It's gonna be okay, Luey. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I'm really scared of storms like this. Oh no, now lightning! Ah! It's gonna be okay. It's really gonna be okay. I hope so. Oh, great. Now one of the lights just went out. The big light in the background. Oh, great, Tiny. Now we are almost completely in the dark. The only light left is the battery-operated night light over in the kitchen. That's just too much lightning. This storm is gonna get so much worse, Tiny. It's gonna be okay, Luey. It's gonna be okay. No, it's not. Tiny, this up Please! Something's got us! And it's pulling us! We're moving really fast! I can feel it! This is not good at all! This is not good at all! Hold on, Luey! I'm trying, Ty-amond! I'm holding on to you! Luey, are you okay? Oh, no! I think I'm gonna be sick. Oh. I'm gonna go run to the little flying harmonica fish room real quick. Luey, are you okay? Don't laugh at me when I'm sick. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, Luey, that was one wild ride, and now all the lights are out. The good news is that the storm has stopped. Whoa, the lights are back on. Hey, Luey. Luey, where are you? Hey, I'm right here! And I'm the one who turned the lights back on! Yeah, but how does the lights just come back on like that? We just went through a really rough storm. Yeah, I know! I don't understand it! Well, we are in the Blue Diamond Desert, so it could have to do with those strange forces that exist here. I think those strange forces had to do with us surviving that coral crash. And then, of course, that storm pulled us all over this ocean. I mean, I have no idea where we are. You could definitely be right. As for where we are now, you really should look outside that window, because you're about to be in for a great surprise. What do you mean, a great surprise? Oh, trust me, this is definitely worth looking at. I will, but first, how are you feeling? You were really sick just a few minutes ago. I'm greatly sorry that I laughed at you when you were so sick. It's just all those crazy sounds that you were making and the way you rushed to the bathroom. It's okay, Tidy, and I'm feeling a lot better. Now, I'm not talking about me being sick. It's time, TYME, to look out that window. No! Okay, Luey, I'm going to look out the window right now. It's the Blue Diamond Crater. It's so blue. It's like another sea inside of this ocean. Yep, we're finally here. The Blue Diamond Desert is not named after the desert itself. It's called the Blue Diamond Desert because of the beautiful blue color of Blue Diamond Crater. Yeah, but why is it so blue? It's so blue because of a microorganism, plankton known as sapphirinos, named after their bright blue sapphire color. Their very thin bodies give off a bright blue bioluminescent glow. that turns the water that color. But I thought that this crater went down thousands of feet. Oh, it does. The TY-ruly can only live for hundreds of feet in the crater. This area is known as the TY-ruly zone, and these amazing creatures only exist here in Blue Diamond Crater. After over 1,000 feet down, it starts to get a lot darker. This is the abyss, also known as the Dark Zone. Luey, don't do that. I'm already getting nervous thinking about having to go down there. Thousands of feet down? That is really deep. Ah, come on, don't be such a chicken. We've got to go down there to find Ballena Rica. I know we do, Luey. I know we do. Well, cheer up. We're on our way to discovering one of the greatest treasure ships of all time. TY-NE. Luey, I really think I need to go lay down. Ty-D, I know that you're really scared of having to dive really deep into that really dark water. I know that you really don't want to dive into that 4-mile long and 4-mile wide crater. I also know that you're really afraid of aliens, ghosts, and other kinds of terrifying creatures in there. Well, ones that could be there. Luey, you're definitely not helping me. I'm sorry, Ty-D, but you've got to let me try to help you get over your fear of this. Just think, if we find that treasure, there's so many people around the world that we could help. We'd have no money problems for the rest of our lives, and we could help so many people that do have problems. I know, Luey. I know that we can be so helpful if we found the treasure. But look at all the stuff that's happened to us already. We're greatly lucky to even be alive. I know, Ty-D. I know. But we're so close to possibly finding the lost treasure ship of Captain Devin Paradosington. I know, Luey, I know. I'll give you some time to think about what you want to do. In the meantime, you deliver some awesome segments to your audience out there. You owe it to them. But just think of all those people that you can help. Okay, everybody, enjoy the segments. Bye, everybody. Bye, Ty-D. For now. Luey's right. I am really scared of really deep, really dark ocean water. I am terrified at the thought of having to either dive in this submarine or even worse, scuba dive that deep. That is really scary to me. So let's change the subject, and I'm going to deliver you lots of awesome content in my special segments. But first, let's call Super Mario and find out what's going on with him. Oh, and I can't forget to tell y'all about the extra information that I found out on the pirate captains and the Tricorgalutus. But that's later. Right now, I'm going to call Super Mario on Doc Brown's video phone. As you see, I'm not in a very greatly chipperific mood. But check out this cool voice activation feature. Super Mario. Hey Mario, what's up?
Hello, it's me Mario. Woohoo! Sorry, Ty-the-80s guy, but Mario fans all around the world just love when I say that. I am doing fantastic. How about you?
That's okay, Mario. You've got to make your fans happy. And I'm not doing too great. I'm really scared of having to dive deep into the dark ocean.
I'm so sorry that you are so scared. But I have some good news for you. I'm over here at your house, bagging, boarding, and organizing all of your Uncle Scrooge comic books. Woohoo! I hope that you don't mind.
No, I really appreciate it. That's very nice of you. And thanks. I really don't want to talk about this. I'm really frustrated right now, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't want to let down all the people that I could help if we find the treasure. And at the same time, I don't want to let down Luey because he's so excited about it. I mean, he really wants to go down in that crater, so I really would like to help him too. But enough about that. Tell everybody what you think of the new Super Mario mashup pack for Minecraft on the Wii U.
I think that it is I can't say great again. Well, I can't roll my eyes like you can, Tidy. Oh, I said it last time with no problem. Oh, I think that it is great to be able to return to so many of the classic worlds from all of my favorite games from the past, especially Dinosaur Land from Super Mario World. Or to travel across Donut Plains and through the Vanilla Dome and Soda Lake and even through Chocolate Island. Oh, that place still tastes so good. Woo-hoo-hoo! There's just so much to do in this game with all of the different character skins, from Yoshi and me, of course, to Luigi, Waluigi, Wario, and Bowser. And all those classic designs, all kinds of things from my many games of the past. So it will give you plenty to do while you wait for E3 in a couple weeks. So, is there anything that you would like to ask me?
No, nothing I really want to ask you, but I would like you to tell everybody out there about Super Mario Monday.
Okie dokie. Well, if you go on Ty-the-80s guy's Twitter, yeah, at Ty-in-80s, and follow him, every Monday I will be taking over his Twitter, and I will be sharing all kinds of very special Mario facts, opinions, and all kinds of information about Ty-the-80s guy's 80s and 90s video world. So be sure you tune in every Monday for me, Mario! Woohoo! Or, as I should have said, Super Mario! Woohoo!
Sorry I have to cut you short, but I've still got a lot of stuff to cover in this episode. So, have a great night.
Good luck and have a great night too. Bye-bye.
Whoa, wait a second. I was going to tell Mario how the forces of the Blue Diamond Desert made the power in the submarine go out, and that made me lose the call with Mario. I was really upset about the possibility of having to dive into the dark, deep ocean, but I think I was going to forget to tell him how the last phone call ended. Even Mario, who's so observant all the time, I don't get it. He didn't even mention it. I've got a lot of segments to cover and a bonus one, so I actually have 3 segments for you for this episode. So with all that being said, I still can't figure out what in the world is going on with all these forces and whatever's going on with my mind right now. But we got to get on to these segments. So here is the first one. Magic Duck! Magic Duck! Great Scott! It's a Magic Duck! Magic Duck Ty Talk. Before the Magic Duck song started playing, I went to the video phone to call Mario back. I was going to tell him about how our last phone call got lost due to the strange forces of the Blue Diamond Desert. At least that's what I think it could be. And I also wanted to apologize for not thanking him for taking his time to be in this episode. But the battery of the video phone is dead, so now it has to charge for about 20 or 30 minutes, so the phone will have enough power to reach Mario at my house. Since we're thousands of miles away from North Carolina and in the ocean, it takes longer to charge the phone. So I'll have to try to call him back a little later. Now it's time, TYME, for a greatly special Magic Duck segment. This is a fruit that is so rare and so expensive that only the richest people in the world own it. And due to its super high worth, most people will not eat it. They will use it for its most useful purpose. For you to get the best view of it, I now have to turn off all the lights. So give me just a second. There, that's much better. As you notice, there is a little bit of light in the room, but it's not from a flashlight nor a lantern. It is a 1987 firefly fruit from the Isle of Macaroon. These were found growing by the thousands underneath the Grand Kishki's palace. If you didn't know who the Grand Kishki was, if you remember DuckTales, Catch as Cash Can 4-part episode, these were what Scrooge and Glomgold were having a major contest over to determine who is the richest duck in the world, or as the Grand Kishki said, man in the world. So they could own and market the fruit and double their fortune. Of course, Scrooge McDuck won. As you see, this is a very bright fruit. I can't hold it too close to my face or it will hurt my eyes and could possibly blind me. So I have to be very careful with it. Scrooge McDuck ended up making billions of dollars on the firefly fruit, and it still grows in the caverns beneath the Grand Kishki's palace. But it is mainly used as light bulbs that will last for at least 100 years per bulb. Yes, you heard that right. Unfortunately, there is not enough to spread around the world, so only the richest of people could afford these. And Scrooge had to keep very quiet about this, because if these fell in the wrong hands, these could cause a war. Anyway, it's time for me to take a bite of this and try it, because I have never ever had one, and I am extremely fortunate to hold one in my hand right now. So let's find out how it tastes. I'm going to have to squint before I take a bite. That is so good. Tastes like strawberry. Grape. Peach. And as the fruit is shaped, pear. Wow, that is so good. I about blinded myself a second ago. I did not squint my eyes like I was supposed to. So good. Of course, I've got to have some A&W root beer to wash down that delicious light snack, as the Grand Kishki said. Ah. 1987 root beer with a 1987 Firefly fruit. I don't think I've ever seen anybody eat one of these in person. That's how valuable they are. As amazing as they taste, they should be used as light bulbs. Scrooge ended up giving millions of dollars to Macaroon, making it now one of the richest places in the world. But this is 2016 now, and it is so much cheaper to use light bulbs, and the average person can't afford them. So don't expect the Firefly fruit to ever replace the light bulb. So with that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this Magic Doc segment, and we're going to move on to the next segment. Ty Day's Childhood Memory! Ty Day's Childhood Memory. Oh! I want to begin this segment on a serious note to pay my respects to the late, great Angus Young, and most of you know him as Alan Young. He has been in show business for most of his life, from radio and TV to movies. He had done it all. He is best known for his role as Wilbur Post, the owner of his horse, Mr. Ed, in the classic sitcom Mr. Ed. But to me, he is far more noteworthy as the voice of Scrooge McDuck from the 1987 to 1990 classic Disney afternoon cartoon DuckTales. He also continued to voice Scrooge in DuckTales the movie Treasure of the Lost Lamp, and later on he would do the voice of Scrooge McDuck in the Kingdom Hearts series. Then in 2013 he would voice Scrooge in DuckTales Remastered, which was a big remake of the classic Nintendo Entertainment System game DuckTales. I don't know who they're going to get to voice Scrooge in the new DuckTales, but he was in his 90s doing the voice for DuckTales Remastered, and though he does sound older, he still nailed it. The really interesting thing is that on IMDb.com, the Internet Movie Database, there is a listing for DuckTales Remastered 2, and it claims that this is the last time that Alan Young voiced Scrooge before he passed away on May 19th. Whether this is true or not, I don't know, but with E3 coming up, we'll find out. But I want to say thank you so much for all the memories, Mr. Young. You'll never be forgotten, and you will be in the hearts of millions of people around the world. So God bless you and your family. Rest in peace, Mr. Young. For those unfamiliar with Mr. Young's work on DuckTales, Volume 1 through 3 is available, and you can pick it up on Amazon, eBay, and now you can get some of the series on iTunes. So with all that being said, let's move on with Ty-Day's childhood memory. This is a continuation of the last episode. Remember part 3 of Catch as Cash Can, Aqueducts? Well, I'm going to continue my discussion of that, because this memory takes place in the late 90s. I was in high school and DuckTales would come on in the morning for school. I think 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And I remember being really fortunate to catch Aqueducts one morning before school. I wasn't happy because I had to miss about half of the episode because the bus driver was there a little earlier than what I thought she'd be. But this memory has to do with the raising of the lost city of Atlantis. I mentioned that in the last episode, but I'm going to go into detail on how they did it. The merman had captured Scrooge, Launchpad, Gyro Gearloose, and Doofus, and there was no normal means of escape. But Gyro was inspired by the mention of his Super Fizz drink, Gyro's Super Fizz drink, by Doofus. But Doofus isn't the brightest star on the Christmas tree. And we all know that Launchpad McQuack isn't either. So it would make sense that Doofus looks up to Launchpad all the time. But anyway, after mentioning the Super Fizz drink that Gyro had invented, he decides that they are going to make the biggest Super Fizz mixture ever and raise the entire city of Atlantis, as Gyro puts it. So by melting down old tires that were in the city of Atlantis, which had become the junkyard for the mermen, using peanut butter that Doofus had brought for his peanut butter and sardine sandwiches that he was going to eat, they mixed it together, and Launchpad, with the help of Doofus's dolphin friends, dumps the Super Fizz mixture all over the coral that surrounds Atlantis. And since coral is calcium carbonate, which is the fizz, in Super Fizz, it causes the whole city of Atlantis to break free of the ocean and rise to the surface. And in the series of DuckTales, this is one of the most epic moments. It still bothers me that they didn't call it the continent of Atlantis, but the city. But still, for them to even feature Atlantis in DuckTales was awesome. And there was the merman's sea monster, Glubzilla, glub, 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 glub. Pretty much the sound of somebody drowning, who was trying to stop Launchpad and the dolphins. But in the end, the mermen were like, "Hey, come back with our trash." Like, trash? Well, thank you, Mr. McDuck. They realized that by them having raised the continent of Atlantis to the surface, their jump problem was gone. They had no more trash to worry about. And then, as you know, if you really know your DuckTales, it was to be continued, with the dolphins and Launchpad begging for fish to be tossed into their mouths. Then in part 4, it is shown that Gyro has gotten the city of Atlantis to float in the air using all those balloons that they originally were intending to float Scrooge's money to the surface, one balloon at a time, attach a balloon to the bag. Then the balloon would lift the money to the surface. Of course, all of his money was now on the city of Atlantis, or in the city of Atlantis. And it was floating towards Macaroon. And then Glomgold and the Beagle Boys try to stop them from reaching Macaroon. Of course, Scrooge wins by dumping all of his money onto the scale and showing that Glomgold had cheated, and there you go. So the childhood memory of the day was the raising of Atlantis, and how cool I thought that was, and how cool I still think it is. It would be really cool if in the new DuckTales Scrooge and the gang could return to Atlantis. Or let's do one based on Carl Barks' classic comic book story, Hall of the Mermaid Queen, which is similar to this, and it would be a nice follow-up, you know, because his money gets dumped into the ocean, but this time merducks are using his money as clothing. So that's pretty cool. Now going to quickly move on to the next segment. Ba-ba-bum-bum. It's the 80s or 90s. Ba-ba-bum-bum. Titan of the day. Ba-ba-bum-bum-bum-bum. What happened to my hair? It's gone. I know that I didn't cut it, and I know that Luey definitely didn't cut it, or it would look like an absolute mess. This Blue Diamond Desert is playing tricks on my mind again. I don't know what's going on, but I do not have time, TYME, to worry about it right now. I've got to go on with this segment. So anyway, I cannot figure out what in the world, the video world, happened to my hair. Well, the 80s or 90s Titan of the day is a greatly special one. And if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have a certain large-sized collection like I do now. The Titan of the day is this Uncle Scrooge and Donald Duck Gladstone Giant album. Special number 2. This Titan is dedicated to my Uncle Ronnie Nix, who lives in Okinawa. He is a 10th degree black belt and a big fan of comic books and Godzilla, and he had come down from Okinawa here to Granite Falls back in the early 90s. I want to say 91, 92, 93, somewhere in there. And I was hanging out with him one afternoon. And we went to Valley Hills Mall in Hickory, which is just right across the bridge, about, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes from here. We went in Amazing Heroes comic book store, which was there on the left when you go in the mall. And I remember the one guy in there. He just always seemed snobby, like he knew it all, and I was just some nerdy kid who not cool enough to be in his store or something. That's just the feeling I got. He might have loved comic books, but he just was not very good with people. But anyway, he was looking around at superhero comics, and I spied this. I think I was afraid to pick it up and look at it, because doesn't it have to be a little kid to like stuff like this? And it turns out these Uncle Scrooge comics are not just for little kids. I mean, the storylines are deeper than you think, and they can be for both children and adults. They can often be educational and teach valuable lessons. And I was just amazed by the whole idea of a sunken city underneath the sea, You see all those whales and all the really nice details there. And that is the same sunken city that is featured in Aqueducts, you know, the episode of DuckTales I talked about. This is Don Rose's trademark artwork here. A scroll that says the sunken city there. And of course, yellow being one of my favorite colors works really well because they're getting ready to discover a great treasure in that city. And you know, this is one of my favorite Uncle Scrooge comic book stories. There are two stories in here. The first one is The Sunken City by Carl Barks from Uncle Scrooge 5, 1954. The other one is Donald Duck, Luck of the North, also by Carl Barks from Donald Duck 4-color 256, 1949. And the storyline is similar in a way to the one in DuckTales. Scrooge McDuck's money ends up being dumped into the ocean, but it's really all of these coins from the country of Ballena dumped into the ocean as Scrooge tries to make it the most rarest coin in the world, and it is. Except the one he has gets ruined, so he has to go with Huey, Dewey, and Louie and Donald to that same spot where he dropped the money, and he ends up in Atlantis. And you learn about the history of how it sank there. But I'm going to show you a little look at what the comic looks like. You see that there? Uncle Scrooge in the sunken city, right there, the opening of it, with two of the Atlanteans going after Scrooge and Donald. You can see one of the really angry looking Atlanteans there, wearing clothing made out of Scrooge's money, just like in Hall of the Mermaid Queen, which came later. And you can see Scrooge and Donald being hauled away by them, I believe because they're trespassing in the city and they're not allowed to leave. One of the others there on the bottom, who is pretty much their professor and teaches them about the history of Atlantis and how they use the ocean as their technology. But when I first saw it on the shelf, I really wanted it, but I was afraid to tell my Uncle Ronnie that I wanted that comic book. He probably would have bought it for me, but I was embarrassed, you know. I was an older kid, and I didn't think he would think that was very cool of me. He probably would pick on me if I told him I wanted it. So I remember leaving there and said, man, I wish I would have been able to get that comic book. I told him that, and I said, nah, I said, I'm probably too old for that. And a couple years later, I started getting into the collecting Uncle Scrooge adventures. A couple years after that, I got Uncle Scrooge vs. Flint Heart Glomgold giant comic album, and on the back of it I noticed that picture of the old comic book that I wanted in Amazing Heroes, and I asked Dad if he'd order for me. He said yes. I think about a few weeks went by and we got a letter from Gladstone Publishing that said that that particular comic album was out of print and we wouldn't be able to get it. But they did say that it would be reprinted in Uncle Scrooge Adventures in color, which were these smaller albums but high quality. They came with collector's cards based on the artwork from the original Uncle Scrooge comic books from the 50s and 60s. So I eventually got my hands on it, you know, Uncle Scrooge number 5, that particular comic album, and I was very happy. It wasn't exactly what I expected, and it was a little let down. It was a good story, but I expected it to be a lot longer. You know, I mean, the comic album says Sunken City on there. It doesn't say The Luck of the North. So I thought that the whole comic book was the Sunken City. I was disappointed. But it was still a very good story and one of the best Scrooge stories that I've read. Mainly because it has to do with Atlantis. So I had that Carl Barks Library of Uncle Scrooge Adventures in Color volume, and I still have it with the card, and I also have 2 or 3 issues of one of the last Uncle Scrooge Adventures. Uncle Scrooge Adventures was about to end its run. You know, these aren't the albums, these are the actual comic book issues that you'd find on store shelves. So I had 2 or 3 of those, and finally, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, I was on eBay and I bought Uncle Scrooge and Donald Duck, the Sunken City, the one comic book I always wanted. To complete that cycle of the Sunken City / the Secret of Atlantis, as it's also known as, I bought the original Uncle Scrooge number 5, 1954, in what looked like pretty good condition for $20-some, I think, on eBay. And that is the oldest Scrooge comic I own, and no, I have not taken it out of the plastic. I'm just not going to do that and risk messing it up. So it remains taped in the bag with the board behind it. So there's a little bit more history about the versions of the Sunken City / the Secret of Atlantis. The Secret of Atlantis that I own. But I will definitely be getting another copy of that comic book album because I want to have another one. That was one of the holy grails of collecting Uncle Scrooge comic books. And it's a beautiful cover on that book, and it's just my childhood history. I have to have another one of them. And I will. Now, with all that being said, that is the end of the last regular segment of this episode. Well, with all the mind tricks being played on me, with the missing hair and everything else, and my great fear of the ocean depths, those really dark ocean depths, I do not feel like eating Papa John's pizza, Giovanni's pizza, or drinking A&W root beer. I know y'all have got to be in shock to hear that, but that's how I feel right now. But as I promised, I am finally going to tell you about the information I found on the pirate captains and the Tricorgalutus. So as I said, finally! No crazy interruptions. I can finally tell you what I found. Whoa! Whoa! What in the world is going on with the submarine? Good grief! Whoa! Luey, what in the video world is going on? Shoo! Everything's fine, Tidy. Everything is fine. What in the video world is going on? We're rapidly descending into the Blue Diamond Crater. Hey, you told me you were going to give me some time to think about that. Well, time's up. I knew you were going to say no and try to get me to turn back around. But we're too far along now. It is time, TYME, that we dive deep and deep and deep until we find that treasure ship. No, Luey. Put this thing back to the surface. I don't want any more of this. I've had enough. I am scared to death of going in that crater. I'm begging of you, please. Well, it's too late now. We're too far down. Why aren't you not piloting it anyway? It's set on automatic pilot. We're not going to hit anything. We're heading straight down. We got plenty of room. There's no rocks and no edges of the walls to hit or anything. We got plenty of room. So just chill. Just look out the window. It's beautiful. I'm telling you, Luey, after I look out that window, we are going back home. I've had enough of this. Whoa! Luey, is that what I think it is? Yep! That's the TY-ruly zone. It's pulsating really quickly, Luey. Well, that's because we're moving so fast. How fast are we moving, Luey? We are moving about 110 miles an hour right now. What? That fast? We're going to end up crashing into the wall or something, Luey. No, we're not. We're going to be fine. Well, here I thought they had stopped. They're startled because we're going so fast. But we're not going to harm them. I am more worried about us getting harmed. Here they are going up again now. Starting up. There's millions of them, Tidy. I don't care. I want to get out of here now. Well, I'm going to go back to the controls. Alright, Luey, I've had enough. This is beautiful, but I want to go back to the surface. Luey? I'm in it. Ah, not again, Luey! Slow it down! Slow it down! Ah! Well, Tidy, we're at 3,400 feet. We finally reached the really dark part of Blue Diamond Crater. I know, Luey, and I'm ready to go back now. It's too dark and way too scary to be down here. I want to go back right now. We are not going back. You've made it this far. Above here is thousands of feet of beautiful blue water. This is darkness. Total darkness. Well, I'm going to show you just how amazing the dark depths are. But first I've got to turn the headlight down low. There, that's so much better. Alright, Tidy, we are going down now. We're now at 4,200 feet. Tidy, are you alright? No. I'm just going to close my eyes. Ah. Whoa! 8,428 feet! We've dove so deep! That's way too deep! We might not even make it back up to the surface, Luey! Tidy, we're gonna be fine. Tidy, I've never, ever seen jellyfish like that. Wow, did you see that go flying?
Well, it is kind of pretty, but I really want to go back up to the surface.
It's another one, Tidy, but it's pink colored. Isn't it beautiful? Ooh. Ooh, it's a bright green one. Wow, it's dozens of them. Tidy, Tidy, Tidy. I don't care right now. I'm too scared. Wow, Tidy, what is that? Wow, it's the most beautiful jellyfish I've ever seen. It's amazing. Just look at that. Look at that, Tidy. Wow. Wow. That was like an amazingly beautiful, great undersea fireworks show. And you missed most of it because you had your eyes covered. Luey, get me out of here. I'm gonna go down to the bottom of this crater as fast as we can. No, Luey! I don't think this is a good idea! Trust me. Well, that's what's gotten us into all this trouble in the first place, was me trying to trust you, Luey. Okay, here it goes, Tidy. Slow down, Luey! Slow down! Wow, I hit the brakes just in time before it crashed at the bottom. But Luey, how far down are we now? Well, we are now at 30,558 feet. What? There's no way this crater's that deep. Luey, there's no way. No way we could be that deep. Tidy, look. Is it? Is it? Ty-B continued. What did our heroes find, and what was that thing? Find out in the next episode.